6:42 p.m. Eastern Time, August 10, 2018. Our live coverage has ended, but we'll be back Monday afternoon. Scroll through the posts below to read about today's testimony or follow the trial here. 6:39 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018. The ninth day of Paul Manafort's criminal trial wrapped up Friday, with testimony from a bank executive who reviewed loan application documents for Manafort. Here's everything you need to know from day 9 of his trial. The witnesses: the jury heard from Dennis Rako, a loan officer at Federal Savings Bank, Irfan Karimka, a ticket operations manager at New York Yankees, and Andrew Joinovsky, the chief operating officer for home lending at Federal Savings Bank. The secretive talks. The trial began Friday with a mysterious conference between the lawyers and Judge T.S. Ellis, and the trial itself is not scheduled to resume until the afternoon. Another correction request. Prosecutors for the second time want Ellis to correct a statement he made to the jury. In a filing Friday morning, they asked Ellis to tell the jury to disregard a comment Thursday during a witness testimony about alleged bank fraud conspiracy that the attorneys might want to spend time on a loan that was granted. A reminder for the jury: Ellis repeatedly reminded jurors about their obligation not to discuss or research the trial outside of the courtroom. He also told them to keep an open mind. What to expect Monday. Court resumes at 1 p.m. At Prosecutor Greg Andres said they plan on calling an additional witness to the stand. Read more about the trial here. 6:06 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018. From CNN's Liz Stark and Daniela Diaz. Judge T.S. Ellis repeatedly reminded jurors Friday about their obligation not to discuss or research the Paul Manafort trial outside of the courtroom. The judge started and ended the day by imploring that the jury follow his instructions, don't discuss the matter at all. Ellis sternly told the jurors at the end of the day, put it completely out of your mind until Monday. I certainly plan to do that, he added, to laughter from the courtroom. 6:09 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018. From CNN's Liz Stark. The Manafort trial just ended for the day. Court resumes at 1 p.m. ET, Monday. Prosecutors plans to call James Brennan, another bank employee who has been granted immunity for his testimony. Paul Ellis, an analyst at Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, may also return to the stand. Prosecutors could rest their case Monday. It remains unclear what the defense plans to present. Both sides have requested 2 hours each for closing arguments. 6:01 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018. From CNN's Caitlin Palancer. Irfan Karimka, a ticket operations manager at New York Yankees, testified against Paul Manafort for a total of only 10 minutes. But in that time, prosecutors provided the jury with what may be home run evidence. Manafort alone controlled his secret foreign bank accounts and used them for personal pleasures. Manafort emailed an employee of the Yankees in 2011 to tell them to expect payment of $226,800 for his tickets, sent from Global Highway LLC. That's one of dozens of Cypriot accounts Manafort allegedly hid from the government to collect his Ukrainian lobbying income and for which he never paid taxes. 2 days later, Karimka confirmed an email that said the Yankees got a wire payment from Global Highway's account for $226,800 for Manafort's tickets. His longtime deputy, Rick Gates, was not involved in the payment. In another email, prosecutor Brandon Van Grack showed to Karimka and the jury, a Yankees employee asked Manafort if he and his wife would attend opening day, 2016. They would. Manafort replied, perfect. Manafort had a multi-year agreement with the Yankees. The agreement included, Manafort had buy 4 seats for 81 games in a season. His seats were in the Legends Suite, somewhere between rows 14A and 27A at Yankee Stadium, Karimka testified. Seats cost more than $200,000 a year. Every year Manafort bought seats. He had them sent to his Trump Tower condo, Karimka said. Gates never told the Yankees he'd pay for Manafort's season tickets, Karimka said. And Manafort's deputy, whom the defense team hopes to pin much of the alleged financial crimes, was never a season ticket holder. The role of the Yankees tickets in Manafort's case still isn't entirely apparent. Why this matters, prosecutors have highlighted several times throughout previous witness testimony, including bankers testifying about alleged bank fraud and Manafort's debts, that Manafort attempted to pass off the Yankees' expense onto Gates at the same time he told banks he was worth millions and sought millions more from them. 5:09 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018 from CNN's Liz Stark. The next witness, Irfan Karimka, works in ticketing for the New York Yankees. Karimka took the stand around 4:55 p.m. ET, prosecutor Greg Andres said questioning of Karimka would take about 15 minutes. He added that the prosecution intends to call one more witness before the day's end. 5:13 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018 from CNN's Caitlin Palance. Paul Manafort's attorney Richard Westling attempted to sow doubt into what a federal savings bank loan officer told the jury about his boss's pressure to approve $16 million in loans for Paul Manafort while seeking a position in the Trump operation. Manafort allegedly lied to the bank about his personal and business assets when he sought the loans. Westling walked Dennis Rako, the loan officer, through the fact that the loans the bank offered to Manafort were fully secured by other assets of Manafort, including a mansion in the Hamptons owned by his wife. He also pointed out how the bank considered changing the terms of a loan for Manafort before one loan closed. Manafort had originally sought one loan for $18 million, which the bank never granted, and just before closing on another loan worried about his mortgage tax burden, Rako said. Westling also prompted Rako to admit that 3 members of the bank's credit approval committee voted on Manafort's loan approvals, not just Stephen Koch, the Federal Savings Bank founder who wanted an in with Trump. How prosecutors responded. Prosecutors countered for the jury that Rako would never have known the power dynamics among Koch and the 2 other loan approval deciders. And he had no idea if one of the other bank loan deciders disagreed with Koch. Rako said, Mr. Koch's involvement was more than any of the loans that Rako worked on lending at the bank, he said. He took a personal interest. He met the borrower on his own accord, Rako said about the 2 times Federal Savings Bank lent to Manafort. 4:52 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018 from CNN's Liz Stark and Daniela Diaz. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx Borough of New York City. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx Borough of New York City. Photo by Elsa. Getty Images. Prosecutors on Friday again dug into the mysterious Yankees tickets purchase made on Paul Manafort's American Express card. They have previously made reference to the Yankees tickets, which appear to factor into Manafort's alleged bank fraud, specifically his representation of his personal debts to the banks in 2016, 2 years after Manafort's Ukrainian politics funding dropped. Manafort's deputy Rick Gates also testified that Manafort made him sign a letter saying that Gates bought the tickets, costing more than $200,000, when he had not. On Friday, Dennis Rako, a loan officer at Federal Savings Bank, testified that the tickets were purchased using Manafort's card. Rako was told that Manafort lent his card to a friend so that he could purchase season tickets and then pay him back. Rako testified that he received a copy of a memo from Gates to Manafort, thanking Manafort for letting him use the card to purchase the Yankees tickets. In the memo, Gates added that he would pay Manafort back by May 30, 2016. Rako said the large outstanding balance on the card, $300,000, was concerning to the bank because it negatively affected Manafort's credit. The jury saw one credit card statement from February 2016 that showed 3 separate charges for Yankees tickets on the same day. The payments were for tens of thousands of dollars each. 4:40 p.m. ET, August 10, 2018 from CNN's Liz Stark and Daniela Diaz. Dennis Rako, a loan officer at Federal Savings Bank, provided details about Paul Manafort's loan application process for his Bridgehampton property in New York. The jury saw several emails about the back-and-forth negotiations between Manafort and bank employees over the loan. In one email Manafort wrote to Stephen Koch, the CEO of the bank, he explained an error he had made. In describing the potential payout and requesting that they increase the amount, "I look to your cleverness on how to manage the underwriting," Manafort added. Koch responded that the bank would look into the request. Rako also testified about how Manafort submitted his own terms for how the loan would be structured. When asked by the prosecution whether a client submitting his own terms is consistent with the bank's policies, Rako said no. When the president of the bank decided not to move forward with the loan requested by Manafort, Koch intervened to help Manafort secure it. "This should be a short conversation. Let's all stay friends, move on, and go our own way," President Javier Uberry wrote in an email to Rako and other bank employees. Rako said that Koch disagreed with Uberry's decision and ultimately overruled him by granting the loan to Manafort.